Hi, you're right. This is your knowledge organiser for diversity. This is what you're going to be doing lessons for the next term, and it's a really interesting one. So we're going to dive in and we're going to look straight away at what we mean by the terms diversity. So first of all, definitions is diversity means a state of being diverse, variety. If you think of the world, think of sport, we are a platform for diversity in terms of how people are brought up, their backgrounds, their cultural upbringings, their access to money, wealth, finance, religious beliefs. We're all very different, and sport is a fantastic medium and a platform to celebrate those differences. A more detailed definition of diversity, if you want to get the extending, is the practice or quality of including or involving people from a range of different social and ethnic backgrounds, on of different genders, sexual orientations, etc. So social being society, what's socially accepted, ethnic minorities or ethnic groups being cultural, religious, spiritual groups, and the backgrounds means their family settings and their origins of where they came from in terms of the demographics and the geography. And different genders, obviously, gender is a huge issue in sport and in the world at the moment, and gender identities are on the move, and this language around gender is becoming way more transient, and it's quite an interesting time in sport as well, as is the work around LGBT plus Q community, and that kind of comes into sexual orientations. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive in and talk about this in quite a little bit of detail in our lessons with your teachers, and we're really going to try and understand these 8 key words, and some of them you may have seen before, some of them would be brand new. Black Lives Matter, racism, sexism, xenophobia, big word, that means fear of foreigners. Differences, cultural agility, tolerance, and homophobia. And the world is changing when it comes to sport. There is a lot more spotlight on diversity and inclusion within sport, and that is something that is a very good thing. We encourage that at Shaftesbury School. So why do players around the world take a knee? What are they taking a knee against? We'll unpick that. So what about LGBTQ plus in sport, and why do rainbow laces exist? What's the kind of rationale and thinking behind that? So we'll explore all of these concepts and more. But for now, I'm just going to leave you a quick video about Black Lives Matter, one of the many topics that we're going to focus on in PE.
Correctly. No, I will not go.
Sport and politics are indivisible. Those who take a stand, like Muhammad Ali refusing to fight in Vietnam, have found themselves exiled. But this was the year protest went mainstream. Naomi Osaka, the world's highest paid female athlete, wore the name of a black woman killed by police in Kentucky, and Anthony Joshua marched on the streets of Watford. A movement which originated in America quickly spread. Athletes had never exercised collective power like this.
The power of players these days in this country, or in sport in general, I think has only been realised in the last 12 months since George Floyd's death. Players realise that if we want to do something, whether it be support the NHS and give a donation of our wages, whether it be wearing Black Lives Matter on our shirts, whether it be taking a knee, if all the players are kind of in unity, there's not really much that anybody can say.
In America, the Atlanta Dream basketball team protested their own owner, Kelly Loeffler, who was also the state senator. She had called the Black Lives Matter movement Marxist and divisive, and so the players campaigned for her political rival. Reverend Raphael Warnock went from being way down in the polling to being elected. These women had helped the Democrats win the Senate.
When you're in a minority group or in a group that's more marginalized, like, you're inherently political and you can't do anything about that. So I think there's a luxury in being able to say, like, oh, keep politics out of sports when this affects our reality and our humanity.
It's difficult to believe it's only 5 years since American football player Colin Kaepernick was cast aside by the NFL for refusing to sing the national anthem in a protest against racism and police brutality.